Welcome to That's a Latte Film with your hosts Erica and Rebecca. On this podcast, we will talk about some of our unpopular opinions on some popular films. So grab a cup of coffee or hot chocolate, relax, and join us. Disclaimer, some of the films we discuss may be explicit. We will try our best to keep it PG, but please beware before you watch the films. There will also be spoilers.
So, here we go.
Oh, that's really
Will you snap out of it and get me some more coffee? Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies. Let's get started.
Lots of spoilers.
All of them.
But also, if you haven't seen these movies already,
There's something wrong with
then
you.
I don't know what to say.
Because what kind of Christmas season are you having if you haven't seen these films? I feel sorry for you.
Right, I feel sad.
I have no qualms with spoiling anything.
And also, we didn't need a disclaimer for these movies because they're all family friendly.
Yeah,
They're
no.
very cute.
Yeah, I don't
So-
think any of them are rated above PG.
Yeah.
Thus.
Guys, look at our...
Is it hot?
It's cold now. I have an iced coffee.
I have,
In
mine
here?
is still warm. I have a warm chocolate with 2 marshmallows and whipped cream
This coffee failed me.
and cinnamon.
Actually, though, it's good. It's iced coffee.
It works.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good. It's good.
Mine tastes like cinnamon.
Yeah. So we had a film faux pas, if you want to say.
Wow.
Faux
Who are you,
pas.
Captain Holt?
The heck? We had a moment. You know how like if for commercials they'll use like fake whipped cream or whatever because like it'll disappear.
They use mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
No, shaving cream.
Oh, disgusting.
But for ice cream,
But it
they
makes
use
sense.
mashed potatoes.
That makes sense. It makes it look so good. But yeah, so
Also
we were
appetizing.
setting this up, and the whipped cream disappeared, so we had to do it again. So we have so much whipped cream in these drinks right now. Just
And
in
the
case.
cinnamon, yeah. Just in case I'm feeling it later, you know?
Yeah, you know.
However, there's an air going around in this room, like a breeze, so when I went to go pour the cinnamon on the drink, it flew everywhere. Thus, there's a mess now.
Yeah. But it smells cinnamony in here.
It does, and it tastes good.
Well, welcome guys to this podcast. So as you can see, we're decked out for the holidays, or for Christmas specifically, because that's what we celebrate. But we're very excited. We're gonna be talking about 3 different movies today
That we grew up on.
that we grew up on. Like it's a staple in our family.
There's a time in each year where each Christmas season that we watch these movies.
Yeah. Like, one of the movies is more like our entire family watches it every year, usually on Thanksgiving. That was the tradition.
Didn't happen this year.
Didn't happen this year. I had to make it happen when I
Everybody's
came home.
lame.
I was like, why are we watching it? We're watching it
Everybody's
now.
lame. Everybody wanted to go to sleep.
Like, this is why.
But I
need
will
all
say
my
that
young cousins.
I was one of those people. I want to go to bed,
Well, you were
I had
like
been cooking all
busy
day.
all day.
and I did all the dishes.
And I worked, guys, on Thanksgiving, so.
I didn't. I cooked all day. I watched the parade. I had to I had to buy actually a streaming service to be able to watch the parade this year. I've never had to do that in my entire life.
Yeah, that is actually wild that we have to do that now.
Yeah, I had to pay $10 to watch the parade. Usually it just streams on YouTube or something.
Yeah,
Macy's got it together.
I know. They made you have to pay for that.
And I'll do it too because I watch the parade every single year while I cook.
Yeah, she absolutely has to.
I have to. I chop vegetables and watch the parade. My dad even put a TV in the kitchen this year for me.
It's that serious, guys.
Because I like watching the Broadway things.
Yeah.
Get very excited by it.
Did they have a lot of Broadway stuff this year?
Yeah. It's just not stuff that I ever really watched. I like Moulin Rouge and Annie, and I don't really watch that stuff.
Yeah.
Like the
Those
year
are
before,
classic.
2 years beforehand, they had Hadestown.
Yeah.
And then I went to go see Hadestown on Broadway. So it was like
I
stuff
guess
that
it's
I wanted
also
to see.
because not a lot of things are open. Like a lot
Oh,
of
they
the
had
shows.
Wicked too this year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they had shows that are open, like well-known ones, but not because of COVID. There hasn't been really any new shows, so nothing really happened.
Yeah,
like, that was exciting. The fact that they put Wicked out there, like everybody knows about Wicked. It's usually new shows that they put.
Yeah,
and they didn't really do that.
I haven't seen Wicked yet.
I haven't seen Wicked either.
I want to see it.
I've seen Finding Neverland, Mary Poppins, Phantom of the Opera, and
You saw
Hadestown.
Finding Neverland?
Yeah, a band trip, Mr. Petrosky.
Oh,
Yes.
that movie's so sad.
I never saw the movie.
So
The
sad.
play was okay.
Oh, but Johnny Depp though.
I was supposed to see it with Matthew Morrison in the show, but he wasn't there the day I went to go see it.
Oh, that's so sad.
So upset. So bad.
Love Matthew Morrison. Yeah, no, Johnny Depp was great. It was Johnny Depp and Kate Winslet was in Finding Neverland. Very good, but also very sad.
Yeah.
Okay,
anyways.
back on topic.
Well, first of all, we have Christmas cookies.
Yes.
We have, they're sweaters actually, Christmas sweater cookies.
Yeah, ugly Christmas sweaters.
And we'll be decorating them while speaking.
Yeah, that's the goal.
That's the Christmas special. Let's see who can
Right, it was
decorate
supposed to
them
be a
better.
gingerbread house, but Walmart failed.
Yeah,
us.
Walmart. But you know what was the most annoying thing?
But you know, I'm mad.
You know, what I'm gonna say is gonna make you even more
What?
mad.
I don't know.
So I went to the spot where they have all the Christmas stuff, right? Christmas
Yeah.
gifts, Christmas cards, or whatever.
Yeah.
They had none. No Christmas cookies, no nothing. Nothing around there, right?
Is Christmas over?
No, they had Christmas stuff, just not the Christmas.
Oh.
No gingerbread houses, no Christmas cookies, nothing, right? So I was like, let me try that little thing where they have like where the baking stuff is, and they have that little tiny like thing in the middle of the walkway. Where
Oh,
they have,
yeah.
Like, when it was Thanksgiving, they had the pumpkin stuff or whatever.
Yeah, they have everything.
Everything for Christmas.
Mhm.
They had these, so I bought these. I literally was checking out. I put my card in. The receipt prints out. Across the way, somebody had, I guess, decided they weren't going to buy a gingerbread house. And left it right there. And I just stared at it.
No.
Grabbed my receipt and just walked away. I was like, I'm already
I would have been like, please, can I exchange?
Yeah, no.
I
I was so mad. So
but
we
you
could
might
have
even be more mad
Okay.
at this story.
Mhm.
So maybe a week ago, I passed by a gingerbread house kit. A bunch of them.
Yeah, Walmart.
I think it might have been, I think it was Target.
They had a whole bunch last time I was at Walmart. I think everybody decided that they wanted to do a
Last
gingerbread
minute.
house. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, I picked it up.
I was pissed, bro.
I grabbed it. And I was like, yeah, we're going to grab, and then I said, no, never mind. So
If you could just zoom into my face, that would
we
be great.
we could have been.
Yeah, we could have been doing a
Could have
gingerbread
been
house, but
doing
instead we're doing Christmas sweaters. And they gave us lame decorations that are just sprinkles.
But they do that in gingerbread house kits too.
I did a gingerbread house with Christopher, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do they give you more toppings?
Yeah, they had like nerds, bottle caps, like a whole bunch.
They never do that.
They
No,
had
the one that I
banana
got was
ones
very
though.
loud.
I was like, how am I supposed to decorate a house with bananas? Like the runts.
Oh.
I was like, what? Not real bananas. You're stupid.
I was like,
Not real
why?
bananas.
First of all, why would they give you bananas?
No. I'm done.
I was concerned.
Anyways.
I was like, those bananas are probably rotten.
Oh
First of all.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Second of all, bananas are mushy. So why would they?
Ew.
What would you even do? Yellow snow? Okay, anyway.
Yeah, any Hoosers.
Any Hoosers. So yeah, we have 3 movies to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
What should we start with first? I guess we'll do Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, why not? We know that one better than any of them.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we
And
do.
since we just saw that one recently. Well, we just saw the other one too yesterday.
Yeah. And I forgot they had a sequel.
Of?
Jingle All the Way.
Oh, yeah. I've
It's
never
on
seen
Disney
it.
Plus.
Yeah, I won't
I
bring
kind of
myself
want
to
to watch it
that.
just to know.
No way.
It's the Larry guy that does the voice of Mater on Cars.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's the
No
main
thanks.
character. Yeah, so
Why are there so many of the same one? Like, these are all the same sweaters. This is the lamest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Anyways.
They were like, no variety.
No.
I don't need it. It's fine. Can I
Anyways.
multitask is the question.
Yes, I can.
We'll see.
Jingle All the Way is a movie that we have seen since we were children. Many people will say it's a terrible movie. They would be wrong.
Very wrong.
This movie is about a father who is played by none other than, who is it, Erica?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes. He plays the father in this movie. And the whole thing is that his son wants a doll called Turbo Man. His wife told him to get this doll weeks before Christmas because it is the most wanted toy by children in that day.
If you don't have this toy,
You're a loser.
you are a loser.
You're a nobody.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And thus, do you think that he got the doll? No, he didn't. He is a workaholic. All he cares about is his job. So, he forgot to get the doll. When he finally remembers to get said doll, they're all sold out. Can't find one. Can't find a doll anywhere.
Tisk, tisk.
Tisk. Tisk. But he tells his wife that on Christmas Eve, he has to go pick up said doll. So he spends the day. Actually, on Christmas Eve is supposed to be the Christmas Eve parade that they're supposed to go to.
Yes, it's like our Macy's Day Parade.
Yeah. But
Basically.
he really needs to go find the doll. But when he goes to like the stores and stuff, they're all laughing at him and telling him that he should just buy Turbo Man's sidekick, Booster. But everybody's like, anybody want no Booster? Because he's lame.
He's lame.
Nobody wants Booster. Thus, he spends the day, Christmas Eve, going store to store, looking for this doll, getting so frustrated. And then he meets this guy. What is his name? Myron,
yeah.
played by Sinbad. So you already know this movie's funny because
Hilarious.
Sinbad's in it. Myron is a mailman who's also trying to get the doll for his kid. But because he's just so funny, he thinks the world does have to get him just because he's a mailman. Like, everything in the world
Yeah.
that's bad is just because he's a mailman. So he then, tries to team up with, what is his name? Howard. The dad's name is Howard. He tries to team up with Howard to get the doll. But Howard's like, no, you're annoying. I work alone. Leave me alone.
Right,
So
like-
they spend like half the movie trying to get this doll, but like competing in a. They go to a store that has like last minute Turbo Man dolls, and they like ruin the store. He's tripping. They try to trip each other, pushing each other, all that. So really, it's just he's trying to get the Turbo Man doll. That's it.
Yeah.
And then he gets into his kid Jamie. Really wants this doll, but he doesn't. He just also wants his dad to be there for Christmas, but that doesn't happen either.
That's all he wants.
Yeah. So
And his dad makes a promise
yeah,
that he's going to be there at the parade.
yeah,
Because it's then in the beginning they kind of give you the idea of their relationship too. Like the dad is very much a workaholic, and Jamie, the son, has a like karate like tournament thing.
oh yeah,
Like a moving up ceremony, I think it's supposed to be. And he's supposed to get his new belt. So he like he's expecting his dad to be there, and the dad he tells him like, I'm gonna be there. Like, he's planning to be there. His secretary tells him like, you need to leave. Like, you need to leave now. You're gonna miss it. And he's like, I'm gonna make it. And she's like, no, like he's not gonna make it.
no. Then he gets stopped by the cop on the way to the karate thing. Gets stopped by a cop, has to recite the ABCs backwards. Like, the cop is just annoying. He's just irritating.
I'm trying to find it. Hold on. I'm trying to find that scene. Hold on. We gotta listen to this iconic intro.
Oh my.
It just exploded on the other side. What the heck?
finishing this.
Hold on, let me find the scene and then I'll go.
I was wondering why there's nothing coming out of the top. I mean, the bottom. What goes on here?
Hold on, guys. I'm finding it.
I'm having technical difficulties with my cookie.
A lot of things are happening.
I would just like to say that my cookie at first was coming out phenomenal. But the top decided to explode.
Sorry, guys. Okay. So he's in the karate, moving up ceremony, whatever you would call it.
License and registration, please.
Look, sir, I'm in kind of a hurry. I'm really late for my son's karate class.
Oh, I do apologize if I've caused you some sort of delay.
Oh, it's because he went on the side of the road to get out of
To
traffic.
pass everybody.
A private citizen to somehow be disappointed in the performance of my duty.
I was not criticizing you, officer. It's just that...
Step out of the vehicle.
Oh,
God.
Then there's a neighbor who's in love with Howard's wife. He's like an eligible bachelor in the neighborhood. All the other females want him.
I don't
but
know
he
why.
just want he's
ugly.
yeah. But he wants Howard's wife.
Backwards.
He wants them to recite the alphabet backwards. And then he notices that his dad's not there.
I would also like to say that this kid looks like my cousin Timothy when he was younger.
He really does. Every time we watch it, I think we mention this.
Also, but unfortunately, I think this kid grew up and he was a schizophrenic.
Yeah. So. I think this kid is also in Star Wars.
Is he really?
Yeah, I think he plays Anakin. But
Oh.
I will be right back. I'll make it to a napkin.
Because I need
You
a
gotta
napkin.
carry the show now.
Okay, I
Up to
will.
you.
So, guys, my daily thoughts. Let's see. It's really cold outside. It's really not cold. Let me take that back. It's a little chill because there's no sun today and it's quite cloudy. But you know I got a new tattoo. Yeah. Roberta's staring at me. I put on the spot right now. I don't really have anything to say. I did all my Christmas shopping, if you're wondering. I also wrapped all of them yesterday, and I think wrapping gifts really just brings me a lot of joy. I think it's just because of how perfect I wrap them. It depends on what it is. If it's like a box, like I can wrap it, and it just looks really pretty. And then I put bows on it and stickers. It just brings me joy. I have red icing all over my hands because of this trash cookie box. And that's all.
I don't know what happened, but okay. Here's your napkin.
Thanks.
And I brought
I was just doing my
plate.
daily thoughts.
Oh. Okay.
You'll see it when you edit. No, it like dyed my hand.
Oh no. And here's a plate
Okay.
for these cookies.
Well, we can't. I don't think we can use red anymore.
Well,
I
that's sad.
I might have to cut it more. That might be why. Let's see.
Okay.
Anyways,
So, where did we leave off?
the karate.
Oh yeah, so he sees that his dad isn't there. And so that part's really sad. And then the dad obviously doesn't make it, so he comes straight home and he finds the neighbor on the top of his house putting decorations up because he hasn't had the chance to do it yet. And he's like, well, you know, I asked your wife if it was okay for me to decorate because I saw that you guys didn't have any lights up yet, so I figured I would help. And Howard is just like, wow, like, how thoughtful of you. Thank you so much.
It's like, why are you putting lights on my house?
Yeah, he's like, why are you here, sir? Go home.
He's just an annoying guy.
He's so annoying. Like, he's so jolly.
Yeah, always.
For no... Like, it's just... Leave me alone. Okay? So, he goes inside, and the mom already is telling him about himself, basically, like...
Because he missed the karate.
Yeah, she's like, don't try and tell me why you didn't make it. Like, go talk to your son, right?
Yeah, go apologize to him.
So, this part is probably the cutest when they're talking about it.
Is this it?
It's really cool.
This is really cool. How do you do this? Like this? No, I know. Like this. What do you think, Jamie? How about this, huh?
The sad
I felt
music.
something really stupid today, huh?
I don't care.
Oh, come on, Jamie. I hope this is not true, because I really wanted to be there. If you could believe me,
But you always say that and you never come
beautiful.
anyways. Purple's important to me, Dad.
I don't know what I did, guys.
Green and 3 were black.
but I saw you get yellow.
But you missed blue.
You're right. I really blew it. I'm really, really sorry. You think you can let me make it up to you?
Like how?
More like, letting me do something special, just for you. Like, if there's something really important you've been wanting for Christmas.
Don't worry. I got it covered. I wrote Santa.
Ah, but Santa gets very busy this time of the year. Sometimes he even has to ask moms and dads to help out a little bit.
Nah, it's not that important.
Tell me, what do you want?
I want the Turbo Man action figure with the arms and legs that move, and the boomerang suit, and the rock and roller jetpack, and the realistic voice activator that says 5 different phrases, including "It's Turbo Time!" Accessories sold separately, batteries not included.
Well, I'm glad you had to stop and think.
So cute! It's probably the cutest part of the whole movie, not gonna lie.
No, the best part of this movie. I will tell you what is the best part. I have 2 favorite parts.
Okay.
Okay. There's a part that he gets so desperate to get this toy that there is a Santa in the mall that is a corrupt Santa. That says he could get Howard the toy. Right? So they go to this warehouse and there's just a bunch of Santa Clauses. Like the Santa Clauses you see at the mall. There's just like a whole bunch of them. A whole bunch of them just sitting there. You know, they have a whole bunch of toys for some reason. But he finally gets a toy, right? And he opens it and it's a Spanish Turbo Man. It's a Turbo Man that only speaks in Spanish for some reason.
Oh God.
And then he says something mean to the Santa Clauses and they want to fight, basically. They just like, okay, you can throw hands now. But he punches the Santa Claus who sold him the toy, and then this big Santa Claus dude who's wearing suspenders. He's like a really buff Santa Claus wearing suspenders and a Santa hat. It has like the Santa beard, and he goes like this with his suspenders, grabs him, and says, "I'm gonna deck your halls, bub," and like snaps his suspenders. That is one of my favorite parts of this movie. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why.
It's so funny.
It just is one of my favorite parts.
Like,
okay?
it's so random.
Yeah, he just comes up and says, "I'm gonna deck your halls, bub," and then snaps his suspenders.
Hold on, I think this is the part with the
I'm gonna take your halls, Bob.
Oh
I
man.
finished my second cookie.
I'm still working on my first one, so
She's lame.
like I said, I didn't know if I was gonna be able to multitask. So
It's okay, I'm good at it.
So let's see. Is there anything else in
Yes,
this movie?
my second favorite part, and then we can be done with this movie.
Okay.
Then we have to also tell you how it ends. My second favorite part of this movie is so obviously he didn't take the Spanish Turbo Man, so he then leaves. They're at he goes to this diner. Myron is also there, and he's basically telling him that his son is going to end up being like a hoodlum because he's not going to get the toys he wants for Christmas. He's not going to have a good Christmas time, so he's going to turn out bad, right? Then they hear this announcement on the radio that they could get some Turbo Man if they go to this radio station, if they can name all the reindeer. Ready? So they go to this radio station. It turns out the guy doesn't have the Turbo Man. But what is it? They get a certificate?
Yeah.
Yeah, they get a certificate. They could get the Turbo Man eventually. But to leave, like they had basically almost beat up the radio guy. The police come, but Myron wants to get the certificate so bad. He's in his mailman uniform the entire movie, and then he has like his mailman like bag. He brings out this package and says it's a bomb. He's like, I'm gonna blow everybody up. Back up. And so he says that he's gonna blow everybody up and everything like that. And then, but then it ends up not being a bomb. But they just go on the run. Then the police show up, and he's like, basically saying he brings out another package and goes, "This one is a bomb. I'm gonna blow y'all up. So back up." Tells everybody to put their guns down and everything like that. And so he puts the cops put their guns down, and he goes, all right, so that he's gonna leave. He says, "Ciao, baby," and gets into the elevator.
So dramatic.
And then Howard runs. The guy Myron starts running. Then the cop comes over and he's like, "I was in the bomb squad for X amount of years. Gentlemen, we've been duped." And like then goes to rip the package open. Myron is just bluffing. Like he obviously is not a bomb. It was an actual bomb. And so it blows up. My favorite part of this whole movie is Myron's running. Hears the bomb go off, stops in his tracks. He's like, "That was a real bomb? It's a sick world. It's sick people." Just keeps running. That's my favorite part of the whole movie. Just the way he says
like
it.
he literally threatened a whole room with a bomb.
Yeah.
But everybody else is the sick people.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
sick world. The sick people. Like somebody really sent a bomb for Christmas.
Like what the heck?
Oh my god, that was my favorite part.
Now what's that? This Master Track Star is a homemade explosive device.
That sound effect gets me.
Listen, layman's terms, a bomb. So back up. You built a bomb? No, I didn't have to build a bomb. Don't you read the news? Hundreds of these things come to the mail every day. I just kept one in case I ever needed it. So give me the down. I'm gonna blow up everybody in this place. Are you out of your mind? Put this thing away. This is not worth it. Well, maybe not to you, but to me it is. So back up, Myron. Come on, buddy. Give me the package. All right? Come on. Just drop me, buddy.
You probably buddy.
I am not your buddy. I tried to be your teammate. I wanted to be your friend, but you
No.
had other plans for my Larry. No, I had no plans.
Larry B's his last name.
Civilians, those common letter writers who make fun of my knee socks and my safari hat in the summer.
Safari hat and summer.
Huh? Oh, no, not at all. Mr. Ponytail Man, I know you. I know you're kind. You're the kind that puts a trash can in front of the mailbox, so I have to get out my cheek, don't you? No. Not true. I
recycle.
Shut up. That's right, shut up. Why do you think the window's there? So just put the mail in there. But you act like everything's okay. Hey, Mr. Mailman, act like that. Oh, it's a deck.
Ends up being a music box. That's when they're with the radio guy.
So good. So
Wait,
I don't know.
No, you gotta do the sick world. Sick
Oh,
people.
okay.
Then you
Hold
can
on.
be done with
I
this
gotta
movie
fast
and move
forward.
on. Sick world. Sick people. That was a real bomb?
Christmas.
That's my favorite part. And then it gets to the point the Christmas parade is going on. Jamie and his mom and the neighbor's kid is at the parade, and they're Howard runs into the cop again and spills hot coffee on him, so the cop is running after him, but Howard gets into the room to hide, and it turns out like he starts getting people start undressing him and like telling him all these instructions and stuff, and he ends up accidentally being Turbo Man for the parade. And then Myron hijacks the parade as the villain, and that it was supposed to like fake fight Turbo Man, but he actually wants to just steal the Turbo Man doll that Turbo Man's supposed to give out. And obviously Howard picked his son because he'd be cheating, and so he picked his son to get the doll, but then Myron decided he was going to hijack the parade. And so, all in all, Turbo Man obviously saves the day. Jamie ends up not wanting the doll because he's like, why would I want the doll? I have a real Turbo Man at home. And so then everything is good after that. It's just it's a funny movie. It makes us feel good. We watch it every year while we decorate the tree. And like it's funny when we have like new additions to the family. Like my sister just got married, and so like her husband watches it with us, and like I had my fiance, he had to watch it for the first time this year, and he was so upset. He was like, "You made me watch this movie." I was like, "You're gonna have to watch it every year for the rest of your life."
Yeah,
so get used to it.
I'm so sorry. And we're gonna be quoting it. So
yeah, we quote it all year long. We sing this. There's a part where the Santa in the car sings, "I feel sorry for that laddie. He doesn't have a daddy.
Make a look.
He's a little boy, Santa Claus forgot." Like we just sing that randomly throughout the year. It's just a part of the movie where Santa's just singing in the car.
We really do love it.
Yeah, we love this movie. Okay, that's one of the movies.
So all those articles that try and say that it's not a good movie, I don't know what you're talking about.
People just be hating on Arnold. Okay,
Literally.
that's the only reason people don't like.
He's a
this
great
movie.
actor.
They be
I don't
hating.
know what they're saying.
They be hating.
All right.
Next movie.
Moving on.
Which one you want?
Elf.
All right. Elf is a little bit more popular.
Yes.
Because it's like more iconic. Whatever. For a while, got so tired of watching Elf because we watch it every year on Thanksgiving with the entire family. But we haven't watched it as often when we moved here. Like, when we moved here from New York, like, it wasn't every Thanksgiving because there wasn't, like, a lot of people here anymore. But in New York, we watched it every Thanksgiving. Like, our entire family, extended, can quote this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm sure y'all have seen this one. I'm sure you've seen memes about it. You know, you could explain this one.
All right, let's see. So we have Buddy. He's an elf. Okay. He's played by Will Ferrell.
Icon in itself.
Yeah, just a legend already. And he was an orphan as a baby. And when Santa went to go bring some toys to the orphanage, Buddy got into his toy bag and Santa brought him back home to the north. So they just didn't bring him back because he was an orphan already. So, like, they were just like, you know what? We'll keep him as one of our own. But then Buddy grew. And grew.
Exponentially.
And grew. And he started to feel out of place, which he was. And
rightfully so.
Rightfully so. But they were very nice to him, and he tried to be part of the classes, but he was too big for the desks. He tried to take showers, but he was too big. Because
obviously elves are tiny. They're little, and Buddy is a human, and we all know how big Will Ferrell is.
Right.
So
you know, he's our size, and elves are very, very tiny. So they have elf size everything there. So he couldn't take a shower. They literally show him taking a shower with cupping his water in his hands, and just pouring it on himself.
But he's like happy.
Right.
Like, he's not upset.
He doesn't know
Yeah.
that he doesn't belong there. Like, he knows that he's different and he doesn't fit in because he can't make the same amount of toys as the rest of the group. So,
he can't meet the quota that is required as an elf.
Well, it's easy. It's just like talking.
Yeah, he can't. He's very, very sad about it. Hold on. Because he just wants to do the best that he can.
And he can't because he's a human.
Because he's a human. Wait, where is it?
I want to know why they give such little tiny decorations and not a tweezer.
Right? That would make it so much easier. Okay, this is it. I think this is it. Wait.
And the guy who plays Ming Ming, I'm pretty sure it's the kid from Christmas Story.
Short on today's quota.
It's all right, buddy. Just how many etch sketches did you get finished?
Etch sketches.
Come on, buddy. How many?
I made 85.
They're all so shook.
85? Puts you 915 off the pace.
He did almost 1,000 less than all the other elves.
Like their quota is 1,000. He's a cotton-headed nudie muggin.
That's a curse word for elves.
We all just have different talents, that's all.
Seems like everyone else has the same talents except for me.
You have lots of talents. Special talents, in fact. Like, special talents.
You changed that as a smoke detector?
Anyone?
Sure did. Triple A's. And in 6 months, you'll have to check them again. And you're the only baritone in the elf choir. You bring us down a whole octave.
In a good way.
It's a backhanded compliment.
You're not a cotton-headed mini nuggets.
You're just special.
Special.
And so,
So good. So yeah, he can't make the toys. So he has a whole meltdown. He runs out of the...
How did I get icing over here? I'm done with this.
There's icing everywhere, guys.
Anyways.
Okay, so he runs out after he has like a whole panic attack basically because he's like, you know, he doesn't fit in. So he runs back into the house, sits on a mini toilet that's made for elves, and has a whole moment. You know how like sometimes you need to go to the bathroom and just think
cry.
about your life? That's what he did. So he's definitely us. Okay, he's definitely human.
He's definitely human, yeah. I know. We wouldn't have to do that.
He's the same thing. So then after that was when his adopted father decides to tell him the truth. Tells him, okay, this is where we got you. You're not really an elf. You're a human, blah, blah, blah. This is why you're gigantic and all this stuff. And he's telling him this whole story while he's sitting on his lap.
Crushing him.
But he doesn't say anything because he loves him, right? So then he shows him that his dad lives in New York City. And that why doesn't he go over there and, like, go meet him and all this stuff, right? So he shows him, like, he gives him a little snow globe that has New York City in it, which I want to know why the dad had a snow globe with New York in it.
Wait, the adopted dad?
Yeah, like, how did he even have it? Like, where did he get it from?
Probably made it.
I mean, you're right, he's an elf. He make thousands of toys.
He definitely
I wonder
made
what
that.
their timing is, you know? How fast they make 1,000 toys. But anyway.
Probably a day.
Probably.
They're elves.
Maybe less. I don't know. Anyway. So, he decides he's gonna go. And Santa decides that he needs to have a talk with him before he goes, right? So he's warning him about New York. All the things that he might find. And what he shouldn't do. Like the do's and don'ts of New York, basically, right? He tells him about the coffee. Right? He's like, just because they say that they're the best cup of coffee doesn't mean that they are, right? He's like, if you see candy laying around in New York, it's not free. It's not for you to eat. Just leave it there. It's not free candy. But then he ends it with letting him know that he's like, just so you know, you're going to go see your father, but he is on the naughty list. And Buddy has
a
meltdown. Okay?
Freaks out.
Like, how could this be?
Not my father.
Not my father. So, from this moment is when my favorite part comes in of this entire movie. Is when he leaves. He leaves to go to New York, to the magical land of New York City.
I'll always be here for you.
He hugs his father, his adopted father.
Now, go.
Go. Get. He's taller than the elf houses, guys. And the trees.
Bye, guys.
Bye,
Bye, buddy.
bye. Bye-bye.
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Thanks, Mr. Narwhal. Bye.
That is one of the iconic sayings from this movie. Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad. I literally just bought wrapping paper from Dollar Tree that says it.
It says it?
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's it.
Um,
That's it. So yeah. So after that, I always forget how he tells the story that he passes. He walks. I forget. He talks about walking through gumdrops and
the goody gumdrops.
like he tells his long story, and he goes to New York City. So he has to look for the Empire State Building because that's where his dad works.
His dad creates kids books.
Yeah, which is very weird.
An Empire State Building. I don't really know.
I'm like, do they actually have?
Yeah, I don't know what goes. I may be from New York, but I don't know what goes on in the Empire State Building.
I have no idea. I'm like, wait. I honestly didn't even know people worked in the Empire State Building. I just thought maybe it was like a monument. Like,
no, I knew people worked there.
I didn't know people worked there. So I learned something new.
I'm sure there's like a whole bunch of offices in there.
You're making these so cute.
Thank you, bro. I didn't know I would be so good at it.
I'm gonna take a picture of you guys and I'm gonna post it. So you can see these. I made one so far.
I've done 4.
I have one that I'm like, I don't even know what to do anymore.
Oh, I didn't finish this one. So he meets his dad.
Yes.
He meets his dad, and his dad thinks he's just a Christmas gram. Like somebody sent him to just sing him a song. But then he sings him a song about how he's adopted. And that Susan Wells had him, but didn't tell him. With my dad, and we never met, and he wants me to sing him a song. I was adopted, and he didn't know I was born. And I'm here now, I found you, Daddy. And guess what? I love you, I love you, I love you! So that's how he finds out that he's
his dad.
Well, wait, is he also named Walter?
He is named Walter.
Wow. Anyways.
Interesting.
I just had an epiphany.
Yeah, at first he's like, well, that was weird.
Yeah.
He's like, that was different.
And then he finds out that Susan Wells had him, so he then has him removed from the building. He ends up at this store named Gimbel's, which is like they have like a winter wonderland there, so they think that's where he's from. And so he goes to work there.
Right.
And the guy in charge of Gimbel's, like, obviously thinks that he works there, so he's just explaining the lay of the land. And obviously Buddy thinks that this is like not the North Pole.
Like he knows.
He's like, there's no elves here. There's no Santa Claus here. Like, this cannot be the North Pole. And the boss is just like, you're weird. Like, you're strange.
He's like,
yes, it is. He's like, no, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. What did he say? Where's the snow?
Where's the snow? And then he's like,
he's like, I got you. And so he basically just is like, just work. Make work.
Yeah,
make
like work is your new priority.
Yeah, like just work. Then he sees Jolie.
Jody.
I don't know her name. She's a girl from New Girl. Okay, Zoe Deschanel. Okay, She's in
But
this
she
movie.
had blonde
She's
hair.
blonde hair and plays really serious. She works at Gimbel's, but she doesn't have the Christmas spirit. Doesn't really like Christmas. Doesn't like talking. Doesn't like singing in public. Whatever. But he like basically fell in love with her at first sight. Like thinks she's so pretty. Then Buddy decorates the store overnight. He stays there and just decorates and like cuts a whole bunch of papers. Puts like paper decorations. Does decorations with Legos. Like he really is
His
into
whole
it.
building.
Yeah. Then Santa comes the next day. One of the iconic things is that his boss announces that Santa's coming tomorrow, and Buddy just yells, "Santa! Oh my God! I know him. I know him." And so his boss just staring at him. He's just like,
10 a.m.
Santa's coming.
Wait, I gotta find it. I gotta find that part.
10 a.m. Santa's coming. I was adopted.
But I also love that after he decorates, the boss is suspicious. He thinks that somebody came from another company and is spying on them. So he has a code word and everything. Santa's got a brand new bag.
And he gives them walkie-talkies to talk on them if they see
He's
him.
like, this is good. This is too good.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Hold on. So then...
Are you here so early?
They shut my water off. What were you doing here so early?
Building this.
You built this?
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of pissed about this.
Really?
Hey guys, have you seen the place? It's pretty good. It's a little too good. Corporate must have sent in a professional. I don't know why somebody's gunning for my job, but look, let's remain a team, okay? 'Cause if I go, we all go. If you get wind of anything, call me on my radio. Channel 3. Code word is Santa's got a brand new bag.
Code 3.
6-inch ribbon girls, honey.
That's impossible.
6
Inches.
Oh my God.
So he's just paranoid after that. Then Santa comes. Obviously, it's not Santa. And so Buddy's just like, that's not Santa. And he tells all these kids that it's not Santa. They get into a fight, whatever. Then he ends up living with his dad, finally. It doesn't go well. You just think that he's weird. He's annoying. He wants to spend all the time with his dad. His dad doesn't want to do that. He barely gets along with the son he has now. He's a workaholic as well. You know, the basic Christmas stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he goes on a date with the girl, kisses her, like falls in love with her.
Yes.
It gets to a point where, because Walter's on this deadline to get a new Christmas book out. And he can't figure out a story good enough. He has to have a pitch by Christmas Eve. And he's like really stressed. And then they finally get this book writer, Miles Finch, I think his name is. And Buddy comes in and ruins the whole meeting. Like the entire meeting ruins it because the guy's a midget. And so he calls him an angry elf. He calls him an elf. And so obviously the guy's not happy about being called an elf. So he fights with him, beats him up, leaves. Walter tells Buddy, get out of his life. Just leave. Go away. And so then Buddy leaves. And but then Santa, his sleigh crashes because the engine's not working. And Buddy finds Santa. Also, there's no Christmas spirit anymore in New York City, so he needs Christmas spirit to fly.
Right.
Can't do that either. So then it gets to a point in the movie where the Rangers in Central Park Rangers are after Santa Claus. They've been after him for years. So they're chasing him. But he's trying to fix the engine, but they have to move, so he's trying to fix the engine while the sleigh is moving. But then Walter and his son, Buddy's little brother, they they get to meet Santa and everything, and then Buddy's little brother finds Santa's book, and it has like all the stuff that people want, and so to make people believe, he starts reading off stuff that people want, so they start believing. So Santa's sleigh starts to fly a little bit more, and Jody, I think her name is, starts singing Christmas songs so that people start believing and being in the Christmas spirit. So it helped Santa's sleigh finally fly. The one person who wasn't singing was Walter, but he finally started singing after his son made him, and the sleigh was perfect after that.
Right.
But it's a good movie.
It is a fantastic movie. So yeah, if you haven't seen that movie, you really need to. And I know there are people that haven't seen Elf, and just because they don't think it's gonna be interesting, but like no, you have to watch it. It's so good. So that's our second movie, and now our final movie of the episode.
One of our favorites.
Of our absolute favorite Christmas movies.
It's called Christmas with the Cranks. Now this one is really funny. It has Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis in it. Okay? And I think this movie is funny is because they remind me of my parents. I personally think Jamie Lee Curtis looks like my mom in a different font. Okay? She really does look like my mom. Like, they have, like, the same kind of facial features. Like, my mom has kind of tiny little eyes. And if Jamie Lee Curtis had the hair that she had and Christmas with the Cranks and glasses all the time, she looks exactly like my mom. Okay? She's in the movie, her name is, what is her name? Nora. Yeah. Nora wears Christmas vests and Christmas turtlenecks and stuff because she loves Christmas season. The whole thing is that they want to skip Christmas, okay? Their daughter just went to the Peace Corps, so they don't really feel the need to do... Well, Nora wants to do Christmas. Luther on the other hand, does not want to do Christmas. He wants to go on a cruise.
He wants to save money.
They spent $6,000 on Christmas the previous year, and he doesn't feel the need to since...
Right, like his daughter's
gone. Like, he doesn't want to do Christmas.
He really does it for his daughter, basically.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do Christmas this year, which is fine. So... He convinces Nora not to do Christmas this year, but this entire town turns against them. Like, she's walking down the road, and the Augie, who sells her Christmas invitations, he comes up to her. He's like, "Oh, Mrs. Crank, we have to discuss your Christmas invitations this year, your Christmas cards." And she's like, "We're not doing Christmas cards this year.
No, we're not doing Christmas
this year." And he's devastated. Devastated to the point that he follows her to whatever lunch he's going to.
Yes.
To be like, "Oh, what about your Christmas invitations?" And she's like, "We won't be needing those either." So then the girls that she's having lunch with are like, "Why? No Christmas Eve party?" And she's like, "No." And so then she was like, then they're trying to convince her that they're leaving for a cruise the day after Christmas Eve. And she was just like, "Oh, so just have the party anyway." And she's like, "We don't want to. We don't want to do Christmas this year." So, Luther sends out a letter to all his coworkers saying he's skipping Christmas this year, and they all turn against him too. The next day he comes in, they call him Scrooge and Grinch, and then they won't put Frosty up on their roof. And the guy who's in charge, basically the leader of their community. What is his name? Frohmeyer, like, gets everybody against them. Like, they use binoculars, they're spying, they're chanting outside the house, "We want Frosty! We want Frosty!" His son Spike is, like, prank calling the house and telling them to put Frosty up or whatever. Like, they're basically threatening them to do Christmas this year, okay? And then, like, Luther wants to go to get a tan before the cruise for some reason. And when they go to the mall to get the tan, Nora hurts her head by banging it on top of the tanning bed because somebody walks in on her. And she's in, like, this really skimpy bikini. Luther's in a Speedo. And he comes out because he hears that Nora hurt her head. And the priest of their church comes by while they're in these really provocative clothes. And he's like, "I hear you guys are choosing not to observe Christmas this year." And she's just like, "Yeah." And then they make it in the paper. They put a paper out saying the Cranks are skipping Christmas. So basically the entire town is against them. Like, they are just not there for it, really upset about it. They won't donate to the police this year. They won't get their calendar this year. Like everybody's really upset.
They're so mad.
And then they get a call from their daughter the day that they're supposedly Christmas Eve. They usually have their party Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
I think Christmas Day.
I think it's Christmas Day. Yeah, Christmas Eve, and they get a call from her saying that she's coming back home for Christmas for the Christmas party. She met this guy named Enrique, and they're engaged, and they're coming home for Christmas, and they're excited for the Christmas party. And she's like, "You are having the Christmas party, right, Mom?" She's staring at Luther because they're literally packing for their cruise. They're packing. They're getting ready to leave. They're leaving. And she's like, "Of course we're having the party!" And so all their plans get turned around, and they have to start planning for Christmas. They have to get a tree. Luther goes to get a tree after not buying a tree from the Boy Scouts earlier in the movie, and they charge him $75 for basically a Charlie Brown tree that was missing a whole bunch of like the branches and stuff. He gets back home. There's no more needles on the tree. It's just barren. So he has to throw it away. Nora has to go to the supermarket trying to get a hickory honey ham. This old lady starts fighting with her, pushes her into one of like the little things that they have like holding a whole bunch of stuff in the grocery store. Pushes her into one of those, knocks it over. She finally buys a hickory honey ham from people who are ringing up at the counter. She's like, "It's not too late to put money away for your kid's college education," and so she pays like stupid money for this hickory honey ham for her to drop it in the what do you call it, parking lot of the grocery store, and it gets run over by a truck. And so when she comes home, she's already frustrated, and her husband Luther goes, "Where's the hickory honey ham?" And she turns around, and she's like, "Don't ever mention hickory honey ham again."
He's like, "Oh."
Yeah, and then like nobody's coming to their Christmas party because they're like everybody already made like other plans, so like Nora's upset about that. But then what do you call it? Luther goes to put Frosty finally up on the roof because his wife tells him to, and he falls. And so the entire town comes to the rescue. Fire rescue comes. They come get him. And Frohmeyer's like, "Why are you putting up Frosty?" And Luther's like, what's her name? What's the daughter's name? Blair's coming home for Christmas. And so then the entire town chips in and starts helping out and everything. But there's this one guy that Nora saw at the grocery store who knew her name, knew where she lived, was being really nice, said, "Merry Christmas, Nora." And she just stared at him. She was like, "Merry Christmas to you as well." Like, she didn't know his name.
"Who are you?"
And so he's like, she invites him to the Christmas party because she's desperate for people to come. And she's just like, "Who are you? I have no idea who you are." Then he comes to the party and everybody, he's saying hi to everybody, knows their names, and everybody's just like, "Who is this? Like, who is this man?" And
yeah, like he knows their whole life.
Yeah,
basically.
He knows the priest. He knows all of them, and everybody's just like, "Who are you? Like, why do you know everything about me?" And so, then like they send the cops to go pick up Blair and Enrique from the from the airport. And the kid, Spike, tells them that they need to stall because they're not ready yet. And so they decide that they're going to go pretend that there's a disturbance somewhere and that they need to go, look, check it out or whatever. Then they're faking it. Then there ends up being an actual robbery somewhere. So they have to arrest this guy. And they leave him in the car while they go to the party. They just leave him there. So then Spike comes outside, and the criminal tricks Spike into letting him out of the car. He starts robbing the cranks. Then comes out onto the what do you call it? The roof. And they arrest him again. And then because then a guy dressed as Santa Claus like catches the guy, like hits him with an umbrella. And so I forgot to mention in the beginning of the movie when Blair first leaves, before they even think about skipping Christmas, Nora sends Luther out into the rain. It's a rainstorm going on at the moment, and she needs him to go into the grocery store. And so he's standing out in the rain. He has to go in there multiple times because he forgot white chocolate chips when she told him she needed that. So he goes to get it. And so there's a guy, Santa Claus, standing outside selling umbrellas. And he's like, I really think you can use an umbrella. And Luther starts, no, I don't need an umbrella. You know why? And there's an awning that collapses and drops a whole bunch of water on Luther. Because he's like, I couldn't get any wetter. And back to the end of the movie, but that Santa Claus that caught the criminal... he ended up being, his name is Marty. He ended up being that guy that knew everything about everybody, because he stands outside of the grocery store and sells umbrellas, and everybody always talks to him because he's Santa. Yeah, so he just knew who they were. But the whole thing is that Luther was like really selfish throughout the whole movie, just cared about himself. And he didn't like the people he didn't like the husband of the couple that lived across the street. He was like a really mean old guy, but his wife was suffering from cancer and the entire town knew. And so during the party, Nora does a speech and is like, thank you guys for everything, like we're really thankful for you. And then everybody looks at Luther for him to give a speech, but he's just silent, and all he says is, same for me, double, and then just walks away. Like, he's still upset about not being able to go on his cruise. And so Nora's like, you're the most selfish person I've ever met. Like, you're the worst. And so then he goes outside and sees the people across the street, the lady with the cancer and her husband eating dinner by themselves, and goes over there and he decides he's going to give them the cruise for Christmas. So he has, like, a change of heart. Yeah. And so it ends. It's so cute. It's such a funny movie because Tim Allen is just funny. Yeah. The way that Nora freaks out the entire movie about the town turning against her for Christmas. She's like, it's the women who handle Christmas. I'm out there on the front lines every day dealing with these people. And he's like, I know. He also got Botox. He got Botox for the cruise. And so his face is frozen while they're trying to eat dinner. And, like, he's eating a fruit cup and the fruit keeps falling off his face. Like, he's just really self-centered the entire movie. But he has a change of heart in the end. It's just it's a good movie. You should watch it. That one's not really known, but it's one of the better Christmas movies. It's not as corny, as you would say.
Yeah. I would play clips from that movie, but it's one of those movies that you have to have to see it. Because I feel like Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis, it was more like a... what's the word?
On screen. Yeah,
like you have to see it to get what's going on, because they're really good at like the facial expressions and like things like that, you know. So you have to watch it to know what we're talking about. But that movie is hilarious.
This cookie came out.
That is so cute. I love it. She made cute, ugly Christmas sweaters, and I made ugly Christmas sweaters.
Bro, this one came out so good. I don't think you can see it.
I'm taking a picture.
Okay.
You guys will have to just see them on the page.
I'd rather have that one in there. There you go. Bam.
These came out super cute.
Anyways,
thanks guys for listening to us talk about our favorite Christmas movies. I think that would be our top 3.
Yeah. Christmas is a Cranks, Elf, and Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
Always my favorite. Like, other Christmas movies I like is like Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas.
Oh,
like, that one's a cute one. Or all three Santa Claus movies with Tim Allen. I like those. Those are funny.
Have I seen those?
Yeah, the first one he becomes Santa. I think the second one is with Jack Frost.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen them.
And I think the third one's like the evil Santa. This is like his clone or something like that.
That's funny.
Yeah. I like all 3 of them. They're really good. They're like feel-good movies, those 3.
Yeah.
I don't really know any other Christmas movies, I don't think. Oh, The Grinch. The Jim Carrey Grinch and the cartoon. Always classic.
So good.
Mad good.
I still haven't seen those.
I'm not a huge fan of Home Alone.
Me neither.
Not one of my favorites.
I think it's overplayed. Should have done an episode about that movie, because that movie I have questions.
Oh.
So many questions. But that'll have to be in another episode, possibly. But thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas.
And don't forget the reason for the season.
Don't forget the reason for the season.
It's
exactly.
Jesus.
It's always Jesus. Jesus was born as a baby. And then he was born to die for us. But that's a different holiday.
That's a different season.
That's a different holiday.
That's a different reason for another season.
But Christmas is to let us know that he was given to us.
Yes. Praise.
So,
amen.
We're very thankful.
Hallelujah.
Make sure that you celebrate with your family or, friends who are like family to you or anything like that. And if you have loved ones that may not be around.
Come spend Christmas with us.
Yeah, watch this, I wish if you were nearby.
Snuggle up with a little blanket and watch this podcast.
Yeah, watch this podcast. Watch the movies we talked about.
Ready? We're going to do a little clink. Ready?
With my cold.
Clink.
Clink.
I still have a marshmallow in here.
Not even glass.
It's not?
I'm like...
Oh, is it porcelain?
Maybe, probably is porcelain. But it's cute though. My mom exchanged all the plates and cups.
Yeah, I went to go look for a
Christmas
normal
cups.
one today. We have no normal cups or plates. We just have our Christmas ones.
They're cute. They're very nice.
So weird. We did 2 whole packages of the Christmas cookies.
Not bad. We got 2 more to do.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do that later.
Anyways.
But yes, thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of the season.
Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year, because we will not be back until next year.
This is the last episode of the year. Thanks for watching all of them.
Yes, I believe this is the 12th episode. Updates for the upcoming year. So the business is kind of shifting next year. I just want to be able to focus on other things like creating more films and doing more of my Etsy shop as well, because I want to create more like physical products, and I want to be able to like maybe do like a pop-up shop at some point, things like that. So the podcast is not going to be every 2 weeks anymore. It's going to be once a month. So next year we're going to have 12 episodes. So we're still going to be here because I do still enjoy this. Like I want to keep doing it because it's fun. But I just don't think, especially because like Rebecca, she works, she has school as well. She's getting married. So like it's going to be busy. It's going to be a busy time. I'm also like all these things are coming up. I also work now. So there's just more to do. And I don't want to do too much where this doesn't become fun anymore. I want it to stay fun for us and for you guys. And I want the content to be good content too. So I don't want to be rushing and coming up with stuff out of nowhere, so
that'd be lame.
Yeah, we don't like that. Quality is better than quantity, I think. So thank you guys so much for sticking with us. Maybe we'll have guests also next year. I know there were people that were interested in being on the show. So now that we're a little more set with what we want to do, maybe next year.
I support.
Yes. All right, guys. Merry Christmas and we love you a latte. Bye.
So, here we go.
Oh, that's really good.
Will you snap out of it and get me some more coffee? Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies.